Sean Strickland is set to face against Anthony Hernandez this weekend, and this fight is a lot closer than a lot of people think. On one hand, you have a former champion in Sean Strickland, who's amazing at pressuring people with his striking, and on the other hand, you have Anthony Hernandez, who pressures people with his great grappling. Both fighters are great at what they do, but ultimately, who can pull off the win? Today we're going to be looking at how the fight is going to play out, and without wasting any more time, let's get straight into the video. Now, starting off with Sean Strickland, we can clearly notice some good things about him. The first thing being is that he is someone that is really good when it comes to defense. Sean is someone that rarely gets hit a lot and quite clean, as the use of his hands, the Philly shell, and checking leg kicks allows him to protect himself at all times. Sean is also someone that has decent cardio, as he's able to go through all 5 rounds, and his wrestling defense is pretty alright, as he won't get taken down as much, but when he does get taken down, holding him down is quite of a challenge. However, the thing that makes Sean really special is his ability to constantly pressure you. Sean has the ability to just constantly pick at you with shots and pepper you with jabs, straights, using teeps. Sean is someone that constantly annoys fighters by being in their face and peppering them with all sorts of shots, whilst also being defensively sound and not getting hit as much. However, there are some weaknesses to the style of Sean Strickland. The first being is his stance. Sean kind of stands as a Muay Thai fighter, but really operates as a boxer. It's quite narrow and it's quite square, which is quite susceptible to takedowns. Him standing too tall with a smaller base allows him to be more susceptible to getting taken down, and when you compare it to different fighters like Michael Morales, for example, when he fought Sean Brady, him standing with a wider base makes it more difficult than a narrower base to take someone down. The next weakness of Sean Strickland, I'd say, is that he isn't the same fighter when it comes to fighting on the back foot. What I mean by this is that he's not terrible fighting on the back foot, it's just he's not the same kind of level when he's pressuring people. You could see this in his rematch with Dricus du Plessis, as Dricus was able to push past his defense and pressure him instead of getting pressured, and you can see the difference in Sean's ability to cope. Now, the final weakness of Sean Strickland is quite recent, but it's mainly a mentality issue. What I mean by this is that Sean kind of does get labelled as a jab and teep merchant, and he gets labelled for being boring, but I think it's because he kind of treats fighting sometimes as kind of friendly sparring matches. When you looked at the fight with Adesanya, he was trying to not step back at all and trying to just go for Adesanya whenever he could. But in fights like where he fought Paulo Costa or Dricus du Plessis in the rematch, you can see that he kind of treats it as a you go, I go, you go, I go. He kind of gets comfortable sometimes, and it causes him to just not fight the best of his ability, which can hold him back sometimes. Now, moving on to Anthony Hernandez, we can see that he is someone that is quite relentless. He's someone that has great wrestling and jiu-jitsu. He is someone that puts the pressure on people and uses his striking to eventually allow his wrestling and jiu-jitsu to take over. He just doesn't shoot one takedown and calls it a day. He constantly goes for it. It's like, think of Marab, but at middleweight. Anthony drowns you with his pressure and eventually gets you with submissions. However, there are some weaknesses to Anthony Hernandez. The first one mainly being is that defensively he isn't the best. He does get hit quite a lot and quite often, and specifically when it comes to his body, he is really susceptible to getting stopped, like we've seen it in the Kevin Holland fight that he had. Another thing is that his striking isn't bad, it's not horrible, it's not like watching Ben Askren throw a punch, it's not as good as Sean Strickland's striking. The next disadvantage I'd say for Anthony Hernandez is that going into this fight, when compared to Sean Strickland, Sean has faced more elite, high level opponents. He's fought a former champion, he's faced another former champion twice, and he's fought Nasruddin Imavov, who's really high up in the rankings. Sean's had experience fighting high level opponents, the elites of the elites of the middleweight division, whereas this will be Anthony Hernandez's first big step up in terms of competition and going up against a former champion being Sean Strickland. And who knows, could Anthony Hernandez be able to handle the pressure and deal with a situation like that? Now, that being said, how does each fighter get the win over the other? Well, starting with Sean Strickland, I'd say he has to keep that pressure on Anthony Hernandez at all time and never give him the chance to pressure him back. He's got to constantly poke at him with shots, hit him with the jab, hit him with the straight, teeth to the body constantly. He's also got to probably target the body more. He knows that going into this fight, Hernandez has a weaker body. It's his biggest weakness, it's his kryptonite. So I'd say you got to make some adjustments and target the body more. Go for liver shots, go for more teeps, put more power into your shots. Don't just flick out the teep for just the sake of flicking it out. Try to really dig into his body. Keep a lot of body and head, and by doing that it will slow down Anthony Hernandez. You look at the fight with Peter Yan and Merab Dvalishvili. Yan wasn't trying to get a knockout over the wrestler, which was Merab. Yan tried to break down his body, because by slowing the body down it just negates his pace throughout the fight, which won't make him as effective and not be able to grapple at a higher intensity with Sean Strickland. Another thing is that Hernandez will inevitably try to get a takedown on Sean Strickland, but he's got to be aware of the takedown at all times and do things to avoid him. He's got to make him punish him for even trying. So, for example, digging at the forearms, hitting at the body, knee to the body. Just do things that make him regret for even shooting at you. He's got to stay composed and focused and have the drive to win throughout the whole fight. Try not to get to any situations onto the ground or any wrestling scenarios. Just keep the fight standing and break him down piece by piece, so eventually he's worn out. Now with Anthony Hernandez, what he's got to do to win the fight, I'd say, is use that striking to enable the grappling. So what I mean by that is try set up a couple of jabs, hit him with the right hands, and then go for a takedown. He has the pace to be relentless, so by constantly overwhelming him with striking situations and going for a lot of takedowns, it will have Sean Strickland overstimulated and having a lot of things to worry about. Is he going to strike with me? Is he going to take me down? Hernandez should also be as messy and unorthodox as he possibly can. You see the fight with Dricus in the rematch, you can see that Dricus was doing all sorts of unorthodox stuff because it's Dricus duplessis. He'd throw overhand jabs, for example, and he'd jump at the same time. He'd cover distance and still hit him even though Sean was moving out of the way. Combine that unorthodox, messy style of striking and use the wrestling as well to latch onto him will allow him to improve his chances to get Sean Strickland onto the ground. And when he is on the ground, I'd say this is your time to shine. Be in dominant situations and try to submit him as much as you can. However, that being said, if I have to see how this fight plays out, I don't see anyone getting a finish. I don't see Sean KOing him, and I don't see Hernandez getting a submission. I see that the fight really goes to a decision win, and it can go either way. But anyways, that's been this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.